Die Musik ist immer noch Liebe. That's why I played it out a bit and muted myself. So, Welle, do you remember what character we played as last time? I want to know. Because I'd like to play a different one, you know? Otherwise, I have to check quickly on my VOD that I have saved somewhere. So last time we played the operator. So this time I'm gonna choose between the machinist or the extractor. So maybe you can help me choose. We can play this a bit like we can choose together. Extractors work on resource extraction, often in hard vacuum environments. Sleepers assigned to extractor work are often confident, self-sufficient, and have a high level of endurance. So we have a photosynthetic skin, so we can sunbathe to get energy, and so on and so on. So maybe a little bit of context here as well. We play a sleeper. A sleeper is an android, basically, but the story will tell you a bit more about the background of this. So our android that we're going to play can be an extractor. Extractor has more endure, a little bit less intuition. So we don't have too much awareness when problems might arise. And we can like gain energy from our skin. And the other one is the machinist. A machinist repairs and modifies automated systems used in industrial resources extraction. Sleepers assigned to machinist work are usually diligent, careful, and structured people. So one of the perks, or the main perk, is chance to gain a random scrap item on engineer actions. So with scrap, I think that's kind of a resource in the game. So we have +1 on engineering and -1 on engage. So we don't go and approach problems head on. We are more hesitant. Right. I'm very excited. Let's see. We're going in. Where are you? The first thing you become aware of on waking is the disconnect, the delay between thinking and feeling, between wanting to act and acting. Minor, almost imperceptible, but always present. It's at its worst when waking, when yourself has spent many dark hours recalling what it felt like to be real, to be a person, to be in a body that was indisputably yours. Think of that body. A leap into a cold lake on a hot day, the sting of blood welling from a fresh wound, the friction of a fingertip. All of a sudden the memories are closer than you thought, blurring as you approach until you can't tell one from the other. The cold slips in, behind and around you, and the sensations fade out of reach. Perhaps you should be thankful for the dulled nature of this new body, given your current circumstances. The walls of the container feel immediately present, cold, hard, at your back and face, cramping your limbs. Thanks, Koenchkin. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that the claustrophobia comes next, and retreat a little from your central nervous system. It isn't painful, not like you used to know pain at least. In emergency mode, pain is a message, delivered with efficiency and ease, a reminder that harm is imminent. There's no insistent throb, no trembling nerves, just a warning delivered with the banal quality of a digital notification. Right now, there are thousands of them. Remember the others. You remember there were 10 of you, 10 that could no longer stand the indentured work, the routines, the slow decay. 10 whose belief in their promised future was slowly dismantled day by day, until they realized they had sold away everything that could and would ever matter. 10 that would escape, or at least die trying. Some were lost in the shaft, Others never found the meeting point. Only a few made it to the containers, but the freighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough to know that you might no longer be on that grim and heartless rock. Even if, in the airless hold of a freighter, you might freeze solid long before you reached any destination. Try to rest. But you are restless. It has been a long time since you left. Surely weeks, maybe months. You are dully aware of damage to your legs, your right arm. You have been reserving energy as much as possible, but your body has still needed to shut down many of its systems to protect you. You have spent much of that time asleep, knowing that anything else would be impossible to endure. You feel the weight of that impossibility begin to gather. It is time to sleep again, to nudge this false body into inducing delta waves in your emulated mind, and once again recoil into a dream of when you once were a person. Let's rest again. Time passes. The cold creeps further in. You feel something. Warmth. Not true warmth, but the indication of its presence. Your joints release from their rigor. Sound too. Everywhere. Screeching and shimmering so loud that your body ducks your hearing to protect its sensors. Then light. White is cold, softer and softer until in a haze of dirty yellow a figure appears. You are out. Welcome. I completely forgot how well this game is written. Like the narration is so, it just gives me shivers when I read it as well. I don't know. Just so cool. Okay, so this is the station. I think it's called the Ring or something. So it's basically like a ring station, and the only thing we can do is actually go to this event, which is an event with a person called Dragos. A pragmatic and private salvager, Dragos. It has been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from the container. You sit huddled in a corner of his scrapyard, swaddled in the reflective folds of a mylar blanket. You are slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at the ornately curving element of an improvised heater. You are surrounded by angular, incoherent lumps of ships, some corroded beyond recognition, others still carrying glassy wounds along their edges where a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace their shapes with fogged eyes, you hear a voice. So, sleeper, you all thawed yet? I don't remember this guy. I completely forgot a lot about this game, so let's stay silent. Never seen one of you coming like this. New frames must have better perseverance in sub-zero vac. See more than a few of you frozen solid to hull plates or inside outer locks in my time. They weren't so lucky. Dragos comes into focus, shrouded in makeshift tech, his headset with its glinting eyes the mark of a drone operator. On his shoulder, one of his symbiotically linked drones perches, its irising eye locking you with an unflinching stare. Last living sleeper that came through this yard was a while ago. They didn't last long. You struggle to read his expression beneath the tech, but he seems lost in memory for a moment. Or perhaps he's just figuring out what to do with you. What happened to them? He ignores your question. I won't ask what led you to do it, to sell yourself to corporation. And I suppose you know you can't go back. Your old body, that's theirs now. And you are just software. A rogue emulation, illegally possessing corporate property. We are basically a copied version of a former human. And that human, that we are a copy of, decided to sell their soul or their consciousness to a corporation. So we are now basically still corporate property. You nod along. You remember biometrically signing the forms, the cold floor on your feet as you padded onto the sleeper cells, the promise of a life off-world. But as you do, you get the now familiar sensation that these aren't your memories. These are the things you know, but not the things you feel. You're no longer that person. You are an offshoot, a copy. Yes, a replica. What you won't know is... I have to get used to reading this guy. What you won't know is what's ahead. At least the last one didn't. There's no easy way to put it. That body of yours is falling apart. It's the same for any sleeper who makes it out. S and R wants to protect their property. But if they can't keep hold of you, well, then no one can. You remember that too, or at least rumors of it from the other sleepers. Planned obsolescence, a built-in dependence on the regularly administered supplements that were part of your routine. Stop taking them and your body begins to shut down, separate from your emulated mind. How long has it been? How long do you have? But for now, sleeper, you are one of the lucky ones. Dragos glances up and away, towards the glassy dome of the yard. The Eye is the best place you could be right now. Okay, it's called the Eye, not the Ring. The Eye. The station. You'll see soon enough. Dragos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I've got things to be getting on with. He trails off. There's an old freight container I've been using as storage out in the stacks. We haven't been pulling in much valuable scrap these days, so you're welcome to it. Something wells up inside of you. Emotion. Fatigue. You shakily get up to your feet. And we nod. Alright, you head on up there. You look like you need some rest. And with that, Dragos stalks back into the wrecks. His drones already converging on the rusting hulk. Plasma flashes silhouetting his spindly figure as he returns to work. Welcome to Erlin's Eye. Life on the Eye runs in cycles, during which you can talk to characters, explore areas of the station and perform actions. At the end of each cycle, you need to head to your current home to rest. Resting will move time forward on the station. Head to the empty container location to rest and end the cycle now. That's our home now. Okay. You wake curled up in the corner of the container and begin slowly assembling the world around you. After all this time, you still find this body, the one you wake in now, strange and disjointed. Its messages readable but somehow wrong. You sit up, pulling the mylar blanket close against the cold. Here you are on this ruined station, millions of miles from anyone you know. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? It's impossible to know. After all this, what matters? What is our goal? Escaping, getting answers, building a life. I think we already escaped, right? And in case you're wondering, I really don't remember much of the story, so this is not rhetorical. Maybe let's start building a life. Maybe you did get lucky, finding yourself here. Maybe here, on the edge of everything, there's a life for you to build. But before you can build anything, you'll need to learn to survive. Maybe if you can do that, you can make a life for yourself. Dragos has left a few comforts in the container. The mylar blanket, the bedroll you slept on, a canister of water, a makeshift electric stove, and some faded sachets of some desiccated powder. You thumb the power stud of the stove and begin to boil the water. The contents of the sachets smell like damp wood, and you sprinkle them into the liquid. As the pungent smell washes over you, images from your restless sleep come back to you. A ring, like the station, but skeletal and ghostly. a web of threads pulling at your skin, a constellation of bright polygonal shapes like angular suns burning into your mind. There's something unpleasantly visceral about these images, and it is long after you finish drinking before they begin to fade. You tidy away the stuff, and as best as you can, and try to gather enough energy to greet the day. Okay, so this is how the game works. Per cycle, we get 4 or 5 random dice. So 1 to 6, and with 6 being the highest value. And you can use them for certain actions. So we have condition. Your condition represents the current state of your artificial body. So that's the first line on the top here. So our body's decaying. So I think that is going down like cycle by cycle. We can also lose some condition by getting damage or injury. You'll have to figure out how to recover your condition now that you no longer have access to corporate pharmaceuticals that were keeping you alive. So we have action dice. At the start of each cycle, you roll your action dice. The number of dice rolled is based on your current condition. Ah, that explains it. So I think if the endurance goes below this threshold here, then we only get 3 dice per cycle. So if we up that until here at least, then we get 5. Once you have used your dice, you cannot take any further actions and must rest and recover them. Then we have energy, that's the third bar here. You also need to eat. This is represented by your energy bar. You can refill your energy bar by eating, but first you'll have to find somewhere to get food. Your energy depletes by 2 segments each cycle. If it becomes empty, you will be starving. When starving, energy loss becomes condition loss, and your condition will also deplete at a double rate. Okay. What should we do first then? Dragos is standing in the corridor when you close up the container. He's still wearing his headset, and in the harsh light of the corridor you realize it is implanted. The drone sits on his shoulder, its cache of sensor eyes rapidly irising. How are you feeling? Not good. The drone chirps. Dragos nods. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and blotches. I know the container isn't much, but it'll keep you safe. He pauses. So, I'm not going to chit-chat too long. You well enough to work? Work? Look, I'll be honest with you, sleeper. I didn't pull you out of that container out of the goodness of my heart. He looks away. At the yard, it's simple stuff. We hack these old hulls down, sell them off to the shipyards or the bright market dealers for cryo. I think cryo is the currency. Occasionally we'll pull out some tech, something with a bit more value, but most of what comes in is scrap. It's hard to find good hands here, but I figure as a sleeper you'll be used to the manual labor. And obviously, I'll slip you a few chits of commission based on what you turned up. Chits? These. He pulls out a handful of small metal bars. Air-walled cryo, isolated from the market. It's what we use for trade out here. Oh, okay, so chits is the... No, it's actually cryo, but it's isolated from the market. It's like a black market currency, maybe? He stuffs them back in a pocket. He shuffles his feet nervously. Look, I wouldn't usually do this. In my opinion, you'd be best suited moving on as quick as you can. And sleepers, well, he trails off. But things being the way that they are for me at the yard, I need the help. Why? Things are a little tight, that's all. I owe a little cryo to a client here or there. He pauses, thinking of something else to add. Look, just come down to the yard when you're feeling fresher. There's plenty to do. Will do. He nods distractedly and turns and walks away. The drone hopping along ahead of him. See you later, he calls back. Looks like it's time to get to work. So what do we do? Apparently we have to survive. For survival, we have to work. We have to make sure that our decay is stopped. And so on and so on. So let's maybe not look at that first. Let's do that later. How do I get out? Like this? Yeah. What do we have? We have our container, so we don't want to go back to the container. We have Dragos' yard. I think that's the first thing we can do. It's the only thing we can do. There's a passage here, but I think we will just do Dragos' yard. Let's see. Soundtrack is amazing, yes. Alright, so this is how the game works. This is now, I have to get into this myself, so I'm gonna read it. So we have actions that we can do. Each action costs one die. Actions are the primary way you interact with the world. To perform an action, click and drag your chosen action dice to the slot. So for example, hull dissection is a risky thing and I have to drag a die in here. Actions reward you with clock progress, energy conditions, or items depending on the outcome. There are 3 types of outcome. Positive, action goes better than expected. Neutral, it's succeeding. Or negative. Then the action dice have effect on these outcomes as follows. A 6 is basically a 100% chance. A 5 is a 50% chance positive, 50% chance neutral. A 3 and a 4 is split differently, and a 1 and a 2 is basically a 50-50 chance if it succeeds at all. Let's see how that works. So that's the type of action, either critical or repeatable. Okay. Critical actions can only be performed once. Gotcha. Risk, either safe. So it says here, it's safe, risky, or danger. Safe means no loss of condition, energy, or cryo. Risky means its negative outcome means cryo or energy loss. Danger means negative outcome means condition loss. Or neutral outcome can mean cryo or energy loss. Okay, I can't remember all this, but we will get into it. Then you can see a little, it also tells you the skill this is based on. For example, we are good at, is it engineering? Maybe. Yes, it was engineering, I think. So we are good at this, so we get a plus bonus from that, for example. So we get a +1, +2, or even minus or 0. This is added to our action dice when slotted in and improves its value. So for example, if we have a die that is a 3, we put it in, we get the +1 bonus. It's actually a 4 die. So that could mean, that means we have a better chance of succeeding. Right? So I think that's self-explanatory in a way. So what we can do now for our first work day is hull dissection. It's a repeatable thing. We are good at engineering stuff, so we could do that. But it's also risky, so that means if it fails, something will happen. I forgot again what will happen because it's a bit more complicated. Or we can do this repeatable action. It's just manual salvage, which is a bit safer. We don't have an extra. We have very bad dice up here. 3 and 4 were the same, and 1 and 2 were the same. I think so, yeah. And bad at engaging. Yes, correct. All right. Also, when we do these things in general, so if we do this action, this clock will increment. So this will get like 1/8 of a circle full. Back in business, every salvager knows they are always just one lucky haul away from their next payday. So this is a plus thing. So if you fill this up by working enough, we will get a bonus of some sort. But also we have this, a debt called in, which is a cycle clock. I think this will always advance per cycle. Dragos is tied up in something ugly, and if he misses a payment or two, things could get nasty. So we have to help him out by actually making some money for him. Okay, we have very bad dice. So let's just do manual salvage first, I would say. Oh, it actually tells us here now. So that's a 50-50 chance. So if I would put it here, it actually becomes a 2, which is the same. As we said, 1 and 2 are always the same, I think, and 3 and 4 are always the same. So let's do something that is rather safe. And then we will use the 6 maybe here. I don't know. Let's see how it turns out. Okay. I think that was a success. Okay. Actions often progress clocks. Clocks are displayed below. I already explained that. Some clocks, such as the one tracking Dragos' depth, are cycle clocks. They tick themselves one each cycle, and any active cycle clocks will be displayed on the icon for that location. Okay. So we got +5 cryo from that. It shows us down here. So that's our main currency. Can I leave? Oh, there's the leave button. Alright, tutorial. In Citizen Sleeper, you will unlock drives as you discover more about yourself and the world. Drives guide you in pursuing specific objectives depending on which path you wish to take. You can track drives, and any tracked drive will place a yellow marker on locations that will help you pursue your goal. So this isn't quests, okay. Access your drive menu via the arrow on the top of the screen. You are now free to explore Erlin's Eye. Okay. Nice. So we have two quests. One of them is repay Dragos, and the other one is survive. You need access to corporate pharmaceuticals. Find a doctor. Okay. What can we do? We can go to work again. We can also work at the dock, I guess. The rotunda. Wet dock. An old dock terminal. Dock B2. The market. Okay. The low-end gate. What can I do at the low-end gate? Nothing. I have to pay a toll to go through there, which is 60. We only have 5. After some spaces caused some trouble in the low end, Yatagan have imposed a toll for entry. No one gets in without paying. Okay, the market, it seems, might help us with finding a doctor, right? I would say let's not waste our dice for working, which is always generally a good idea. Not waste your energy for working. And let's go to the bright market and see if we can find out something about a doctor, maybe. So we can ask for directions, but we're not good at engaging. Well, why wander when there are hundreds of people that live and work within the bright market? All you need is the courage to approach them. We could use our 6 though. A 6 is a good dice for I struggle saying the singular of dice and yeah, and the plural for it. I always have problems with that. Okay, let me take a breather. We could use the 6er for this, and then else we could explore the market. The smells, sounds, and bustling activity of the bright market makes it a dizzying place to wander, but an enticing one too. I think that is actually dicey. Yes. We could do... Let's ask for directions with our 6. Let's do that. With the 6, this means we have 50% outcome chance for positive or neutral. I mean, that's good. That's like a guaranteed success, right? Let's do that. Yes, we gained plus, so we gained a positive outcome, which immediately increased the clock to its completion here, which is very nice. The bright market is the busiest part of the eye's lower rim. You can find anything and everything here. So I think something will happen now, right? I asked for directions, so I'm gonna leave. Yes, now we have new spots that we found. We have the slum doctor, which I think last time I pronounced her Sabine. Like I just used the Turkish pronunciation. I don't know why. So I'm gonna stick with that. I think I pronounced them. I think their pronouns were they. And Emphis. I remember Emphis. The street food vendor. Okay, so what do you think? What should we do? There's also a art exchange, a hardware exchange. We could, I mean, we should find a doctor, right? So we should go to the doctor first. We only have 2 one-er dice though. Maybe you should wait another day and maybe do some labor to earn some cash first. I have like choice paralysis right now, I think. There's also the shipyard, Havenage, construction yards. What else do we have? Let's go check out the terminal. Oh, danger and risky. I don't know if I want to do that with these dice. Okay, what else? We could just do safe work. Let's do the safe work for today, and let's go to the doctor tomorrow, maybe. I mean, it's not safe per se, it's like 50-50 chance. But it's safe in a sense that it won't damage us. Yeah, success. Or neutral, basically. We got some cash, we increased the back in business thing. So let's do the last die for that too. Success again. We have 25 cryo by now. Yeah. We have a new thing. Oh, you've heard talk of a fabricator owned by the Ord Exchange. With that and a few fragments, you could build a ship mind core. I don't know how that came about. I think it's about this place here, the Ord Exchange, right? Oh, we can actually visit the doctor still. So let's do that. Why not? So we are in the Hab block, a decaying habitation block. Next comes the call from the enforcer at the door. You shuffle down the flickering hallway towards the open apartment door. You keep your head down and your shoulders high in the queue, trying not to bring attention to yourself. You were thankful for the tip-off that a doctor was operating out of this place, but now that you're here, you aren't so sure. The gang enforcer on the door, the flickering light strips, the decaying hat block, they have all made the long queue a test of your nerve. But your options are few, and without a supply of stabilizer, this body, your body, will... You suppress a shiver and shuffle forward to the front of the queue. You try to find something to distract yourself. Don't look at the enforcer. I think that's just... That could be rated as kind of aggressive, maybe. Look inside. You lean against the door frame and look into the apartment. The entryway is dark, punctuated by the green indicators of stacks and sealed containers. You lean in and see amber light filtering through a far doorway, screened with plastic sheeting, beyond which blurred shapes move. The slap of the enforcer's palm against the doorway jerks you awake. "Wait your turn," he growls. After a few moments, a figure pushes through the doorway, and you can catch a distant voice. "Send the next one in, Toshiro." The enforcer jerks his head and you slip inside, passing through the dark entryway and pushing through the plastic sheeting on the far door. The room beyond is bathed in warm light. A floor-to-ceiling transparent panel gives a full view of the Bright Market's sealed roof and the buzzing traffic above. And, for a moment, you're transfixed by the motion. This is Sabine, a doctor in Bright Market. "Come, sit," calls a sharp voice, and you see a silhouetted figure turned away, replacing the plastic sheeting over the frame of a simple folding bed. You make your way across the room. The figure turns, and as they do, you see an expression of confusion flash across their features. They open their mouth as if to speak. They blink, and then quickly regain their composure. "Please, sit." They gesture to the bed, then turn to an open case of tools on the table. You sit. Sabine turns, a compact diagnostic scanner of some kind in their hand. They hold it to their eye. "Remain still, please." Their tone is clipped and businesslike. You stare ahead, still dazed from their expression when you first entered. Fear, recognition, sadness, unmistakably etched across their face. "How long have you been in the station?" They ask, the scanner still to their eye. "A few cycles." They nod. "It's good you came to me." They set the diagnostic scanner on the table. "I'm going to start by assuming you don't know anything." They take your arm and roll up your sleeve, inspecting your synthetic skin. "Your body's dying." They say it without ceremony, without drama. but not without empathy. SNARP doesn't like to see its proprietary technology let loose. To prevent bodies like yours, frames as they call them, from being stolen, repurposed, or in your case escaping, they built in a process of so-called planned obsolescence. Frames decay rapidly when not regularly injected with stabilizer, one which SNARP remains the sole producer of. They look up. Sound familiar? Yes. Good. That may help. They swap to your other arm, running some thin metal device on your skin. You feel your forearm tremble. I'm sorry, Sabine says, and you are unsure if they mean for the cold touch of the metal or everything else. Emulations like you, sleepers, as most people know you, aren't classified as people in any of the surrogate systems. You have no rights, no status. They focus hard on the inspection of your arm. And SNARP has no reason to release stabilizer into the market. Sabine looks up as if to apologize again, but they stop themselves. I know little of this is of use to you. They turn away, disassembling the metal instrument and cleaning it. Silence fills the room as Sabine works, and then the silence gives way to tension. You stare at their back, willing them to say something, anything. Sabine turns to face you. I may be able to help. They sigh, and you see the darkness under their eyes, hear the fatigue in their voice. They gesture to the door. You saw Toshiro outside? You nod. He works for my benefactor, Yatagan. They are influential in the low end. They give me the space to work, run the door, and take the profits. At the same time, I have to fix up their enforcers, tend to their implants, sew up their wounds. They look away. But Yatagan has connections. Smugglers from the Starward Belt. Oh, Starward Belt. That's a reference, I think, to the second part. Mercenaries working for the corporations on Ember. If they can source the stabilizer, maybe you'll have a better chance. Sabine sets down their slate, their notes complete. This is dangerous, and it'll be expensive, but I think we can do it. Thank you. Sabine walks away to the window, their face dappled by the shadows of passing drones. Let's just see if this works first. I'll let you know when I have a lead. You nod and leave. Sabine is still staring out, unmoving. When you reach the lower level of the market, you look back up through the panels of the roof to see if you can see their face, but the room looks dark against the lights of the market. You duck your head and walk off into the crowd. It's a forward reference, yes. It's like, I think the game's called Starward Vector, and it has something to do with a place called Starward or something. Okay. That was a day. I think we can finish it up. What does that all mean? Like it's shiny yellow? Okay, so now there's a cycle clock. So Sabine is actually trying to source stabilizer for us. They think they can source some stabilizer through Yatagan, but it is going to take a few cycles. So I think that's like 3 cycles. So we have to wait for this to continue. Right, so maybe we can also visit the street food vendor first. Yeah. Yeah, it's good that we triggered it earlier and not wait for the next day. Sure. So this is Emphis, an imposing street food vendor. I love the art style so much. I don't know what it is exactly, but it's also the lighting on the characters often. Like the colors, you know. Emphis is busy, his broad face uplit by the makeshift gas burner in front of him. With precise, delicate movements, he lays thick chunks of marinated fungus into a dented wok, his other hand idly tossing a metal bowl of sliced vegetables and some red flag dressing. The smell is incredible. You watch as he fulfills a set of orders, heaping the fungus with the bright salad and depositing it in plastic trays. A stack of chits rattles in his apron pockets as customers file past the burner, handing over the payment. Let's just watch. Despite the queue, Emphis doesn't rush. He dresses each portion individually, squeezing precise slugs of liquid from an assortment of bottles into the bowl of torn leaves and bright slices before tossing them loosely together. Occasionally, a waiting customer might mutter something about efficiency, but Emphis remains steady in his process. After a while, the queue fades back into the crowd, and Emphis sets down his metal bowl and looks up across the burner to see you, watching him. I can feel your eyes burning a hole in my bowl. Free sample? He's giving us a free sample, but we have money. But I don't want to... I think if he's offering, first one's always free, exactly. And I think it's also a custom maybe for him, for them. They already say pronouns? Yeah, him. To not like deny if he offers. Okay, let's take it. He gestures neatly. Come over. The smell is almost unbearably strong as he cooks, the earthiness of the fungus laced with something so spicy the smoke makes your eyes water. The heat from the burner is like a bonfire, and your skin hardens on its glare. I know you. You sleepers. Emphis says while he cooks, his voice deep but clear. A hard life, a lot of stories. He glances up from beneath his cap with piercing eyes. I know. Tell him a story. You begin to tell him about your journey to the eye, and he nods as he cooks, his eyes never leaving his work. You tell him of the confusion, the pain, but also the sense of possibility and its sudden arrival. You tell him of the cold and dark of the container, and the endless cycles spent within it. Now it seems you tell him like some dream that you once had but can never forget. You tell him that the eye excites you and scares you, and you are unsure where to walk, where to look, what to do. Eventually you tail off, running out of words. He places a plastic tray of steaming fungus in your hand. Next time we can talk some more, he smiles. But next time, you pay. He slams a heavy hand against the button on the burner's side and shuts it off. The roar of the flame and its impressive heat fades. Next time then, sleeper. He waves you away and begins to oil the wok. Before you turn back to the alley, you notice the geometric patterns of circular scars across his forearms, each surrounded with a constellation of glinting pin marks. You walk away, and as you do, you take a bite of the rich, spicy, delicately sweet fungus. Your taste senses light up like a fusion reactor. You'll be back. That was a nice encounter. And the game saved. Nice. So I think that was the first day. We can always visit the places as we just discovered, right? I don't have to use dice. So there's something here at the dock. Alright, it's a dock. So this is a place where ships arrive, right? So there's a cycle clock going on. In 4 cycles, something will arrive here with scrap. Then we have the rotunda. We don't have dice to do anything here. Let's take a look at that tomorrow. Then we have the dock C4. This is the opposite side dock. In 8 cycles, there will be something arriving here. Helion Crossing. Merchants willing to run the gauntlet of the Helion systems are rare, but those that do always return, eventually. What is that? The shipyard. So we can assist the shipbuilder or haul materials, but as I said, we don't have any actions left. So let's turn in for today and go to our container. All cycles need to end. let's end the cycle and see what awaits us next day. And also, let's start the cycle a bit and then let's take a short break. So yeah, now we only have 3 dice because our condition just dropped. This time you don't wake up. Instead, the ghost of the station, that shifting skeletal ring surrounds you. What? For a moment you're gone, absent from your own body, stretched out across a colorless void. Then the connections begin to establish themselves, threads tugging on the edge of your mind. These threads become vectors of exchange and then extensions as you feel your thoughts slipping away down them, dissolving into the millions of distributed nodes they connect to. You see the station. No, you feel the station, like a web of texture in a smooth black liquid. So we're seeing the ghost of the station. Let's observe it first. Even though you have no eyes, no sight, you see and feel the map of the station. No, not the map of the station, but the map of its connections. It is a looped cloud with spokes and spires that jut out into space. It is an ingrown thing full of obsolete loops and severed pathways. It is a system, a map, and a territory all at once. You notice a tugging feeling, pulling at you, insistently, as if it were a small child. Somehow it is pulling in 2 different directions at once. You look down. All of a sudden everything shuts off. You come back trembling into this unfamiliar body, but both yours and not yours all at once. You find yourself standing in the container. Eyes now open to the dark steel walls. You feel a change within you, a shift. You close your eyes for a second and you feel it waiting there. The stations played out across your mind. A storm of connective nodes waiting to be explored. And then it is gone. So we had a kind of a vision or some sort of like connection to the station, since we are an android ourselves. Somehow we can connect to the station. Okay, we have kind of average dice today. I think it's okay. We have a 6, we have a 3, we have a 2. Okay, let's get a quick survey of the day for what we can do today and then take a short break. So we can still go to the shipyard and do some labor there. There's an engineering action here. We can go and help Dragos, right? We can still wait for the dock ships to come in. We can go to the old dock terminal. I don't know what to do there. Let me check. So we can steal dock plans. Havenage Security has to have plans. Stealing them would be the fastest way to get to know this place. And the most dangerous. We shouldn't do this. We can also just explore the rotunda. The rotunda of the old dock is filled with passageways and concourses leading to all kinds of docking bays. If we do this, we might get onto the Havenage watch list. Havenage run the rotunda and their security watches the docks. Better to avoid attracting their attention. But we can also steal the dock plans to do dock watcher. Getting to know the rotunda doesn't just mean new places to visit, it means keeping your eye on the new arrivals too. So this is basically like a observation like tower for an airport, right? So if we like position ourselves here, somehow we can see what is coming in, what is coming out. Maybe that could be helpful. Then we have the 2 docks. As I said, there's nothing happening at the moment. We have to wait for Sabine. We can go to the ore exchange. We can also go to get some food again. And this one, like the low end thingy that costs 60 cryo, we only have 25. So I think this is gonna be a work day. I think we're gonna do some... So chat, you can choose. Should we do some spying and exploring the rotunda? I don't know what this will lead to. I mean, we can keep our eye on new arrivals. Maybe that's helpful. Or we just go to work. So spying or working. It's basically what we have to do, what we have to choose. So as we are playing a more introvert character, I'd say like snooping around and doing some spying stuff is not really like in character, right? So if we go here, that shit is just too risky, right? We don't have engage, like we have even a malice on that, and we don't have intuition. But we have a 6. So if I put the 6 here, this is like 50% positive and 50% neutral outcome. Steal the plans? I feel like I want to. So I also don't remember what happens. Like if we do that, then Dog Watcher will fill up, right? I do remember something being here, like a restaurant or something, so maybe we should like just check it. Question is, should we still steal them? I think we should. Just to try out like how consequences feel. Let's do it. It was a positive outcome, so we didn't have the neutral, nothing bad happened. Go let's, and we did. We went let's. Gigi! We have, we got like a +3 progress on the Dog Watcher thing, so it immediately resolves. So let's see what happens. Should something happen? I'm not sure. Like if I leave? Oh, now it appears on the map, of course. So, yeah, we stole the plans. Oh, Ankita, the stranded mercenary, is already here. We wouldn't have discovered that. Yay for crime. Yeah. We wouldn't have discovered that. Like now we have like knowledge of this. Then we have the dock again. There's a Sealer dock, Solheim docking bay, and the Overlook bar. Let's go to the bar because I remember the character there. I really liked her. What can we do? We can get a drink. Costs us a lot. You're unsure if your frame can metabolize alcohol, but this fungal drink fermented along the greenway seems like a good test. So if we do that, we become an Overlook regular. The Overlook isn't exactly a restaurant, meaning the only way you'll gain trust around here is with a stiff drink. Yeah, we have to find friends, right? First do crimes, then find friends to do crimes with. That's like a rule of life, right? Also, we can buy rations. Tala keeps some expired Solheim rations behind the bar for those wary spacers who ask why the Overlook doesn't serve food. Making friends is important. So let's get a drink. I have to put money in here. We got some energy back. Nice. And we increased that. But where's the encounter with Tala? I thought we will meet her. Maybe once the thing is full. Yeah. You're right. Maybe you're right. So what is that? Unlock maglog. These old maglogs look they each need an encrypted key to open. Why the heavy security for decaying dock? So we need one key, data key. I love this track. And once we have a key, we need 2. Yeah. Okay, then we have Ankita. Sabine is still on wait. Can go to Emphis. But that's about it for now. Crime plus friends are the perfect ingredients for a heist. Exactly. Let's check out what the mercenary is doing here. Hey you, wanna earn a chit? Ankita stands beside a huge pile of tied together hull plates. She stretches out her back, her shoulders bulging beneath her flight suit. Sure. You cross the docking concourse as she begins to split the plating into 2 bundles. What is it with this place? She asks as she lashes the massive plates together. Everyone wants their cut. She straightens up to an imposing height, her armor plates creaking, and looks you up and down. Don't try anything, alright? She taps the butt of her sidearm. I don't want to have to put anyone else down today. She's danger. Anyone else? She shrugs. What can I say? My temper's a little short lately. Ankita hoists one bundle of plating onto her shoulder. Come on then, enough chat. You've got to earn that chit. Chit-chat, you know? You struggle to shoulder the plates. But you do eventually. Ankita gives you a look. Ship's this way. And she sets off down a gantry at impressive speed. As you catch up to her, she turns down a passage pushing through a small crowd of stevedores? What's all this for? Oh, this? She nods at the plates on her back. I'm building a treehouse. She gives you another of her looks. It's for the ambergris, that cutter you might have seen sitting silent out there. She rapidly turns another corner as you trail behind. She got cut up pretty bad on our last job and I had to moor up here for a spell. But since then it's only gotten worse. Someone got in and sliced the core from our ship mind, so now she's gone dark. She shifts the panels on her shoulders. The upshot is that I'm short on ship mind, with a ton of repairs to do, and the rest of the crew signed off the moment they got wind I'd been stranded. So yeah, it's been a time. Sorry to hear it. Yeah, I've seen worse. But I'm bleeding chits every cycle here, so I need to get off, and fast. Ankita swings the plates from her back, almost knocking you over in the process. This is me. She hauls the second bundle off your shoulder. You're the first person I've met here who might actually be considered helpful. She pauses, chewing her bottom lip. Look, you want to help? Come see me. I need a hand putting Amber back together, and you don't seem like the type to try anything stupid. She passes the bundles of plates through the ambergris's outer lock and then turns back. Just don't go spreading all this around. Ankita throws you a couple of chits. Consider it a bonus for not trying to grift me. She gives you a parting nod and ducks through the doorway. Alright, get out of here, she calls back, and the lock slams shut. Okay, new drive discovered. We have now fixed the ambergris. I'll call it ambergris. Ankita's cutter is out of commission. So cutter is a kind of ship, right? It probably cuts like asteroids or stuff. Anliegen, genau, thank you. Help her get it running again. Get to know Emphis. Emphis loves 2 things, stories and food. Maybe if you supply him with both, you can hear his story. I think our main focus at the moment should be somehow to get our condition up, because with 3 dice we can't really do much at the moment, right? And the next moment this will proceed, or like progress, is with Sabine's return here. So I think we have to just fill the time. Maybe I don't want to overspend the money we have. Maybe we have to work for it first and then we go to the bar. Alright, this is what we can do with the cutter ship. We can rewire drones. Oh, well, we can't because we need to upgrade a skill first. Skill upgrade required. Locked. Ankita has a couple of glitch repair drones in storage. If you can rewire them, they can repair the ambergris for you. So we're not the kind of hacker person at the moment. Then we can do amber hull repairs. Ankita needs all the help she can get with the ambergris. Pockmarked with damage, the hull is a good place to start. Wait, what? So if we fail with a negative outcome, then this will progress. So if we fail too often, like 6 times, then we are grounded. The ambergris is in a delicate condition. It'll be all too easy to push it over into a cascading collapse. So we have to succeed instead of fail with our dice. So this actually does not progress and this progresses. In civilian use, cutters were mostly involved in smuggling. Oh, it's a smuggle ship. The Navy and Coast Guard therefore also used cutters in an attempt to catch those operating illegally. I see. So they're more like fast ships, I guess. It's small and fast, so they can like escape. Okay, thanks. Gotcha. Okay, so let's do some work with Dragos. Where's Dragos? There. Let's put our engineering mind to work. This gives us eventually negative outcome. Possibly, I mean. That's the same, because 3 and 4 are the same. So, yeah, let's just try that. Or we could just go with a safe route. What is the difference? Like, does this increase the back-end business faster? Not really, right? It's just more risky. But if we do manual salvage, this will also increase this, but it's safer. I mean, yeah, I mean, without the bonus, this is a 2 now, so it's 50-50 like this. If we do it like that, we have a even slightly better chance of getting something positive, but the outcome might be damaging. I'm gonna go with the left side. I want to try. Let's do some hull dissection. Okay, this actually made us lose energy. But we progressed this. We earned some money as well. Okay, let's leave it at that and go to the bar. Spend the money we just earned to become a regular. Get a drink. We got some energy back from the drink. Nice. I think that was good. Okay, maybe let's go to Emphis. Oh, that cost us 15 cryo. I don't have that kind of money. What about the ore exchange? The flow of chits and components in the exchange is complex, but a sharp eye and some tight trades can net you a good margin. So this is actually like a stock exchange. And the more we do this, the more we become a trusted trader. There's an old ship mine fabrication stack in the back of the market, but only trusted traders get access to it. So other than that, if we would have components, we could sell them here, but we don't. So I don't want to gamble right now. Okay, let's do the Dragos thing once more. So this time I'm going to go with manual salvage. You ache from hammering away at the scrap and most of it crumbles into worthless rust. You call it a day early before you injure yourself. Did that fail? I think it failed, right? I didn't really pay attention, but this didn't progress. It failed, right? Yeah, shit. Okay, so that happens. Do we have anything more story related we can do, or should we turn in? for today. I think we can turn in, right? The rest is just actions. Yeah. Failed. No. Okay. Let's sleep and recover from that. Oh, again. Again, the skeletal ring of the station fills your mind. It sparkles with glittering lights, like stars reflected in a winter lake. It is clearer and crisper than before. The threads still pull, but you remain in place, flickering in the flow. Between the threads you see bright shapes, caches of shimmering light beneath transparent crystal forms. You follow the path of a thread across the ring, through these forms, then leap off into the void. You begin to understand. These are nodes and connections, a map of information, of communication. There are so many layers, so many loops that it seems almost impossible to parse. But you begin to try. Let's focus on the nodes. The nodes are glassy, bright, but in all this flow, the only solid and fixed points. You approach one, a pyramid or a triangle, dimensions are difficult here, and lean close to it. Inside, shifting layers conceal a tangle of threads, a meeting point of exchange. But before you can glimpse any further, the glass clouds and hardens, cutting you off. The threads and nodes, passages and puzzle boxes, one leads to another. There's so much here, so many answers, so many questions. All you need to do is follow the paths and open the boxes. You look out across this ghost landscape of exchange and see an opportunity. But then that insistent tugging again, pulling at you. You look down again and see two lines, two threads pulling in different directions as if they were tied around you. I'm going to go for the first. The first thread leads out, away from the station into the inky black. Someone out there is tracking you, hunting you, following the thread to you. They are in a ship, and the ship is approaching ever closer with each cycle. The second thread leads in, pulling deep into the station. Your gaze follows it, and this time you see something. A sphere shimmering above a strange, angular body. A pulse shoots out from it, passing over you like a torch beam, testing you, tasting you. You open your eyes. Time is short. Hunted. Someone out there is tracking you, following your trail. It won't be long before they arrive. Oh, ich hab Gänsehaut. I already know this storyline, but still. We have 8 cycles until whoever is hunting us will arrive. Scheiße. Escalation. Our body is decaying, someone is hunting us. We only have 30 credits. Things are looking dire. Something has changed inside you. You can now access the data cloud of the eye, a network of decaying protocols and data caches. While there, you can use dice and items to access systems and extract data. But be careful, these networks are old and strange. Click the I button on the top to toggle the view. Ooh, I remember now. Havenage Gate H4, cryptic text. Okay, what? Keynote 0002, Havenage Agent, Keynote, Havenage Agent, Solheim Gate, Keynote. This is really confusing. Yatagan Agent. There's something here. Like a little bar. Okay, we have to pass the day somehow. We have to eat because our energy level is at 2. What should we do? I think we have to buy something from Emphis. But it's like 25 credits, right? No, it's 15. Yeah, let's spend 15 credits for getting something to eat. Emphis doesn't trust people easily, but he notices regular customers in his own quiet way. Nice, we completely filled up on energy. Your mouth stings as your sensorium sends warning signals over and over. This is the good stuff. Okay. We filled our bellies. Now we can continue with chat, what do you think? Should we help Ankita with a damaged cutter, repairing that? Should we help out just with Dragos? I mean, we already started this. We should maybe finish it before we start something else, right? With Ankita, we have like a progress meter of 8 steps, and there's a fail state. With Dragos, we only have 8 steps, of which 2 are already filled, and we have a timer on this. So maybe we finish this with this one first. And then there's also the shipyard, which I don't know why we should like take care of it. Yeah, let's work and then go to the bar again, I would say. Yeah, let's do hull dissection, a bit risky. Shit, we lost energy and it failed. Scheiße. Okay, let's do a safe manual salvage here. Nice, we got +2 on the progress, which is good. Now we only have a 2 left, so we could be still risky with this. That's not good chance, right? Also, it will damage us more. Okay, let's get a drink. So now we are regular. The glass shatters on the steel bar beside you. And the taunts don't take long to follow. Hey, Haunt! The spacer calls across the low room. What are you doing here? He laughs at his own lame joke. Playing a human? Okay, let's shout back. You spin back off your stool, scrambling for words. A hand falls on your shoulder, but as you flinch away, it pats reassuringly. You freeze in place. Let's bereue. Out! The voice comes from behind you, spat out like a shot. You turn to see bright eyes, dark hair, a stare that could breach the wall and vent you all into a hard vacuum. Even like now, the second time, I see the character, I see the name, and I'm in love. That's Tala, owner of the Overlook. As you turn back to the spacer, the second glass comes sailing through the air. I'm gonna catch it, of course. Okay, that did something with us. You reach up a hand and the glass shatters across your forearm, showering you in fragments. Through the haze of glass, the girol vapor you see, that was like a fungus, right? A sort of Pilz, Girolle or something. A girol vapor you see, Tala leap the bar and close the distance to the spacer. The thud as he slams into the wall echoes around the bar like thunder. Now flanked by other figures, quick to their feet, Tala throws the spacer out through the door and stands silhouetted against the rotunda lights. You touch your arm and it feels wet. Someone helps you to your feet and back onto your stool. Broken glass rattles as it is cleared and a fresh measure of girol is glugged out in front of you. That same hand, warm, heavy, falls on your shoulder once more. He isn't coming back. We don't tolerate that kind of shit here. Tala flops onto the stool beside you. Let's get a look at you. Tala wipes the powdered glass from around the wound, and someone places a bottle of alcohol and a metal tin with tweezers on the bar. She disinfects them and then turns to you. That was an ambitious catch. She smiles, pulling a sliver of glass from your forearm. Stupid, but ambitious. You don't feel the pain, only the string of status messages your body delivers concerning dermal damage and exposed structure. You do feel the care though, as Tala's bright eyes search your thick synthetic skin for splinters. Watch her. Tala works with the skills of someone who has had to pick glass splinters from the skin of a stranger before. She hones in on each bright shard, all the time tapping the tweezer tips in little rhythms that only she can follow. Tala smiles to herself. So, you've been on the eye long? Just arrived. I thought so. I've only seen you here a couple of times. The splinter clings into the tin. Not everyone is like that, idiot. We don't all hate you. She glances around. Some of the regulars maybe they fear you. Maybe they're just curious. I don't know. But I do know that the Overlook is a safe place. I remember now why I love her. I know what it's like to be new in this place. Trust me. She meets your eye. I'm not trying to convince you of anything or separate you from your chits. I just want you to know that if you need somewhere, you can always come here. I know the rations we've got aren't much and the company is limited. But if you need work, I'll happily put you behind the bar. And if you need shelter, well, we can discuss that. You'll be safe. I usually have Francis on the door, but he's up in the Greenway this cycle, haggling with our supplier. Francis tends to be particular about what we serve, even if the clientele isn't. She places her tweezers in the tin with a clink. That's you, sleeper. Here. She slides the glass of Girol to you. This'll help. She stops. Her hand still on the glass. Wait, does this help? I mean, can you get drunk? Let's find out. She laughs. Just don't sit here too long. I'd hate to see you become a real regular. She walks back around the bar, gathering the glasses as she does. And before long is retelling how she threw that spacer out to a new group that just wandered in, complete with dramatic actions. She gestures in your direction and you instinctively look away, back to the worn surface of the bar. You take a sip of the Girol. The earthy fungal tones fill your senses, almost blocking out sight and sound, like diving headfirst into a bog. You may not be able to get drunk, but this connection to something grown, something fermented, something old, it feels good. Ah, the characters. I love them. Okay. We have one more action that we can use this cycle. What should we do? I think we should do something that is secure enough. When I look at the Dragos' yard, I mean, this is a safe action. We can do this. Why not? Let's try to progress this. 50-50. It worked. We got 5 cryo from that, and we progressed the back in business. Okay. Then we go and turn in to sleep, right? Or we check out what is going on with this stuff. What is that? So there's the rotunda. What if I go keynote? The data here is part of a cache, tucked away during the collapse. Who hid this and for what purpose? Data actions allow you to extract data from the network of the eye. They work like dice actions, but in order to unlock them, you must match your dice to the one displayed on the right of the action. Okay, so we only can put in a certain die here. If you have a +1 or +2 modifier in the interface skill, which probably we don't, you will be given more possible dice to match. Okay, you can use any dice that matches the dice displayed. Or once unlocked, the data can be extracted. Okay. But this needs a 2, so we can't do anything right now because we used up all the dice. So let's turn in and end the cycle. No, we are hunted. The hunted meter will progress to 1 of 8. Yeah, we're still hunted. Nice, we have 3 4s. Okay. It's not too bad. As you close up, a voice echoes down the corridor towards you. Sleeper, wait up! Uh-oh. It's not the guy that hunts us, right? They're not here yet. Let's turn. Oh, it's Feng, a Havenage systems engineer. Feng is coming down the corridor towards you, a wonky grin on his broad face. Hey, glad I caught you. Do I know you? He grins. You do now. He puts a hand on your arm. I've seen you hanging around, just wanna chat. You staying in that thing? He nods back to the container, shaking his head. Rough. Can be hard to get a start on the eye. He looks away down the passage. What was it old Erlin said? The eye opens for us all. Nice idea, but, well, not always very practical. He glances back at you. We do our best, but it isn't easy. Who's we and who's Erlin? Who's Erlin? You pass together into the main walkway. No one has told you about Erlin? He's the founder of this place. That's why it bears his name. Havenage should organize some seminars. Not really my department, though. I'm with systems. Systems? Everything the eye runs on. He runs a hand along the passage wall. This place is a ruin, but systems keeps it spinning somehow. At least we try to. He stops you in the quiet passage. Look, that's not what I'm here to discuss. Now we're getting there. I saw you around and, well, I know a little about you, sleepers. I have a little proposition for you. He glances around. But this is not the place for it. I have an office just across the way. Give me a cycle or 2 to prepare. Then, when you're settled, stop by. He lowers his voice and gives you a dark look. In truth, I need you. If what they say is true about you sleepers, well, there's work to be done. He pats you on the back, his voice bright and his dark look suddenly gone. Stay clean, sleeper. He walks off down the passage, raising a hand in farewell. Okay, maybe let's take a look at the data stuff. The problem is we're not good with interfaces. Input a Havenage cipher here, which we don't have. Tamam. We can put a 2 in here, which we don't have. Bullshit. We have another 2, which we don't have. Okay. That needs a 1. What is that? A cipher. We don't have ciphers. A 3. Another 2. A 1. So these are all like low die numbers, right? Just let us let us maybe remember it goes from like 1 to 3. Oh, Sabine is back. Let's go to Sabine. Let's buy a vial of stabilizer. Because we need it. The first thing you see on entering is the glint of Toshiro's implants, like a cat's eye, in the dark of the corridor. He nods you in as you arrive at Sabine's door. The entryway is still dark, and you push through the sheeting into the surgery. I have it. Sabine stands with a case open in front of them. A set of vials lined up inside, separated by foam inserts. They pick one up, rotating it in the warm light. I've no idea how Yatagan... They trail off. We should treat this with caution. It looks authentic, but I have no idea if it is really what it appears to be. I'm the test case? That seems to be the case. Unfortunately, I'm not sure we have another choice. They gesture for you to sit on the bed. The stabilizer works under a similar principle to an immunosuppressant in a transplant operation, in that it stops your body from rejecting the unfamiliar part of itself. In the case of your frame, the unfamiliar part is each of your biosynthetic organ groups, which over time are identified by your body as foreign material and therefore must be eliminated. Sabine holds up a vial of the would-be stabilizer. However, unlike an immunosuppressant, the stabilizer doesn't do this by limiting your entire immune system. Instead, it re-encodes your biosynthetic organs with new protein chains, which act as passcodes within your immune system. The stabilizer refreshes those passcodes, keeping your frame from rejecting all of its own organs. Which means the stabilizer should be able to encode any organic or biosynthetic matter to be accepted by your immune system. They glance away. At least, if the stabilizer is genuine. The only way to know for sure is to inject the vial. They begin readying the syringe. I will start with a small dose to limit the risk. Okay. How sure are you? I'm working with the best guesses here, but the case, the vials, it looks authentic. Sabine cracks the glass neck of the stabilizer vial and uses a syringe to extract a fraction of the liquid. They tap the syringe, and you watch as if any sign might emerge from the clear liquid. You barely feel the needle, your frame registering the initial injection, but with little response. The sensation begins to spread from the side, a fizzing, trembling wave that disperses through your arm with incredible speed. Your vision goes white, and when it returns, Sabine appears encased in shards of sparkling light that slowly fade into darkness as you settle back against the bed. You swim in darkness, muffled noises, like an argument heard from underwater, prickling waves of cold. When you sit back up, Sabine is sitting in a chair by the window, facing away from you, backlit by the glow of their slate. Awake? What happened? The stabilizer's genuine. They sit down beside the bed. I don't know how Yatagan acquired a case of this stuff, but they did. Sabine looks troubled, distracted. You should rest some more, but you're going to have to do that somewhere else. They gesture to the door. I have other patients. Sorry. Sabine nods towards the case. I'm afraid I can't offer you any more doses. You're going to need to pay for your next dose. Silence fills the room, and they return to their glowing slate. Looking around the room, it seems different somehow, as if things have moved or shifted. You wonder how long you have been out. Sabine? Nothing comes free, sleeper. Remember that. You manage to get onto your feet and wander out into the hallway. The queue stretches down the flickering corridor. Toshiro stands impatiently by the door and fixes you with a glare as you leave. You lower your eyes as you stumble past, somehow faintly aware of the station spinning beneath you. Look at us, we're stable now. We have the full bar, so next day we will get 5 dice. Awesome. Okay, so now we can do stuff. What should we do? We can take a bar shift, but we're not that extroverted. We're not that engaging, so I don't know how good of an idea that is. Tala is as good as her word and happy to throw a shift or two your way. The pay isn't great, but tips can make all the difference. And if we do that, the Overlook clientele can be a tough crowd, but you have Tala's backing, and that means a lot. So maybe let's continue Dragos' work, and now we have better dice, you know? Oh, that's the wrong one. Keep forgetting. That's still on a cycle. So what if a 4 turns into a 5? I mean, I think we can do this. There's a 50% chance of an extra boost. Yeah, I think I want to do this. Now I'm gonna look here if there's gonna be a status message. Ah, it says here, okay. Positive. Nice. We got 3 progress on this. Nice. Okay. What do we do else? Oh, I see. Another vial of stabilizer is now 100 credits, and we have 49. So we have to earn our money, but we have time. So I feel pretty safe at the moment. Oh, that's the big ship that they're working on. Okay, now I see. The shipyard. So basically this ship is being built in the shipyard, and we can contribute to that. Assist the shipbuilder or haul materials. I don't know. I wanna finish the Dragos thing. Let's do that. Let's do another one of those. I'm feeling lucky. Positive outcome. We finished it, and we got 15 credits for that. Let's see. Every salvager knows they are always just one lucky haul away from the next payday. Now we can talk to Dragos. You arrive into a buzz of activity at the yard. Red blinking lights flash across a vast dark shape suspended below the dome. They flicker across scorched hull plates and bent structures spilling from holes in the twisted shape. The cutter is huge and has been torn apart in some violent encounter. She's a beauty, isn't she? Dragos stands to the side, focused on the hulking ship as it is lowered into the yard. Looks ugly to me. Dragos laughs. That, my friend, is A-grade scrap. I should thank you. This place was on its last leg when you turned up, and now look at this. The ship descends slowly, its interior visible through multiple hull breaches. You struggle to gather the same enthusiasm as Dragos for this monstrous craft. You can't help but think of what became of its crew. What happened? What do you mean? He glances at you. I managed to convince our salvager friends to give it to me on credit. That's what happened. No, what happened to the ship? Not my concern. He shrugs. The ship creaks like a carving iceberg as it reaches the base of the yard. Dragos is visibly excited. I know, I said you shouldn't stick around, but I'm gonna need some help with this one. The drones start to crawl over the hulk, their lights illuminating flashes of dented hull. Watching, you wonder if you arrived in a similar fashion, locked inside that container in the wreck of the S&R freighter lowered into the yard like a corpse ready to be butchered. Or was the container delivered to Dragos on its own, a womb for your rebirth into this strange station? You shudder. Perhaps, if you could learn something about this ship, you might be able to trace the path that led you to this yard. Dragos squeezes your shoulder. After these past cycles, I think we're up to it. What do you think? You see the fading name of the ship emblazoned on its side. Winterlight. Let's do it. He claps you on the back. Glad to hear it. Come back in a few and we can make a start. A real beauty, Dragos repeats, perhaps just to himself. You take one last look at the shattered ship as the drones start cutting, then slip out of the yard, feeling suddenly cold in its empty passage. Upgrade point. Oh, we got upgrade points. Oh, this is going to be interesting because I have no clue about these attributes. Like some of them, okay, I mean it explains in text, so maybe we'll have to go through this and then we can find out. Right, so one upgrade point, we are of the engineering direction. We can actually progress in that. How does this work again? We have a point, 2 upgrade points, 3 upgrade points. Maybe I'll move my camera quickly so you can actually follow along. Right, we have, okay, now I get it again. Okay. So you get a kind of you get a perk or an ability, but also on top of that, you get this little bonus, right? And if I want to get this, it doesn't work because we need 2 upgrade points, which it tells us here. And then we will get the self-repair, which is use scrap components at home to repair condition. And then also we get a +2 on each of the engineering tasks that we can do. But also, no, we need 3 points for that, I think. The ones that we are not good at, we could like improve them to 0. So 5 in total go from +1 to +2. Yeah, that's what I think too, Korenchkin. So we need 2 and then another 3. And then we can get to this. Yeah. So this is an action we already have. Right. So we can gain random scrap items every time we do an engineering action. This is actually something I have to keep in the back of my head because this should encourage us to do more engineering because we get scrap. So we should like, you know, benefit from that more. What we can do now actually are these. Transfer, intercept, chance to gain cryo on interface actions. Photosynthetic skin, sunbathe, dice action allows energy recovery at home. I mean, we could also remove the engage -1 and go to a 0 here. So at least we are level with these abilities and then we save up some points for the extras. I don't know. Should we save up the points for like specializing in the engineering section more? Or should we just maybe try to get rid of the -1? Because that will always F things up for us sometimes, depending on situations that we might not be able to avoid. Feeling very unsure. Also, I have no clue how I played it last time. I still have the VODs. I could look it up because it would be nice to actually do a different kind of play. I don't see anything that is currently like critical where we should like put points into other than, yeah, I think we should level everything to 0 first and then we specialize on the other things. Let's do that. Cool. How do we continue? We have 1 die left. Should we go visit Tala, do a shift in the bar? Now that we have increased our engage, we could actually try a shift in the bar, but it's still risky. It doesn't pay well, they said. What if we help Dragos? Does that pay better? I don't know if he said something about that. This is repeatable. This is engineering. So Dragos' nerves is a timed clock here. Dragos seems increasingly nervous about your presence in the yard. You're not sure he's going to hold his nerve much longer. Why? Are they annoyed by us, or are they just scared that people will see us and then it falls back to him somehow? Okay, I think this is a choice that we have to make. So we have just finished the project, right? We have finished the first Dragos quest line. Now we can start a new cycle, like a new progress meter, basically. Should we help Ankita with her ship? Should we help Dragos with the disassembling of the big freighter? And also maybe in the process of that, find out more about our history. That would have been a good one, yeah. Or should we just do labor in the bar? Or as a fourth option, should we just help with the shipbuilding? I think I kind of remember the storyline about Ankita and I didn't like it. We have engineering +1. We can turn this into a 5. Assist a shipbuilder. You don't have connections, but you do have skills. If you can get a shipbuilder to notice them, you might be in. Let's do it. Neutral outcome. So when we advance yard hand, the only way to get to know the shipyard is to work there, no tourists. Yeah, let's continue doing that if we have more dice. We have enough money to get something to eat, but we don't need food at the moment. So I think we can just turn in. Okay, let's go to the container and end our cycle. What is up with our dice? I think we had, like, each cycle we had at least 2 1 die. 2 1-er dice. That's not good. I mean, we can use them for hacking, right? In the ghost world. Let's see. Maybe we can immediately put them to use here. I think some of them had... I think some of them had a 1, right? Yeah. So for example, this one. Keynote 0831. The lone connection feeds into this isolated node. Its last access timestamp is 1000 cycles ago. Let's try. Bypass. Extract. We got a key from that. A stream of passcodes able to unlock the station's aging maglocks. I remember this one dock having a double door that needed 2 keys. So maybe we can find another... Can I repeat that? No. That needs a 3. I don't want to waste my 3. That's a 2. It's always the square ones, right? What does that reveal? Some information, I guess. Data. Not key data, but something else. Let's try and see what that does again. Extract. Ooh, the sounds. So we got Yatagan data. Maybe we can sell that or something. Ooh, something happened. In the data ghost of the eye, as you drift back from the node, something latches onto you. A thread strung tight around you. It tethers you in place. A taste. The voice makes you shiver. Its source somehow both distant and close behind your ear. Ugh! It's behind my ear. You see a distant glint of light shut off, and then suddenly a shape is at your side. It stalks around you, circling like a shark, like a wolf. Entity unknown. Astringent. Processing. So something in the network is like checking us out in a very, very creepy and weird way. Are we gonna resist or stay still? I think I'm gonna stay still for now. Please hold. Oh, that's the hunter. Sentient protocol unraveling. The thread around you thickens until it is a ring, a cylinder, a tunnel of light circled around you. It is blinding for a moment, and then it is gone. As it fades, you see a figure, a creature in front of you. Its strange head flickers between different angles, reading you. What did you do? The shape paces around you on lithe legs. Though there is no ground here to pace on. Entity, identify, origin, serial, cadence. The figure faces you expectantly. So the company that owns us is called SNAP. Should we identify against the hunter? I think they already scanned us. They're just testing if we're telling the truth. So I'm gonna say sleeper, SNARP. Unknown, known. The figure's strange head rotates. Brackish signature, off and not off. Attempting interface. As the figure speaks, more threads begin to spiral from its head, thick, snaking vine-like ribbons that flex and wave. They approach with intent. Stop. The figure halts. It halts its threads, its head twitching. Entity, your identity is unknown. We only seek to correct illegalities. Can you confirm your legal right to sentience? We say nothing to the cops. Exactly. Exactly. Can you confirm your legal right? Now they're like declaring us illegal, which is also giving me... No, giving me the worst vibes. Can you confirm your legal right to sentience? I'm a person. Incorrect. You are an entity. All at once, Hunter's head is directly in front of yours, blocking your vision. You stink of their taste. What? The one from the sealed dog. What is he talking about? Hunter shimmers with fury. I will find access. I will interface. Sealed dog? An entity hides in the rotunda. You are its puppet. Do I remember this storyline? Oh, I think I might. Hunter extends a razor-edged thread. I will not be diverted from my task. It glows with murderous intent. The only option is strike. Strike. You lash out with all your force. Not a physical strike, but a focusing. A spike of interference leaping out like the tip of a spear. Hunter stumbles, shifts, separates. Wake up. You open your eyes, blinking back into the station light, shaking with fear. Okay, I kind of vaguely remember what this is about, but not really. But apparently there's a bar here, and I think the more we do actions, the bar fills and then the hunter comes back. So maybe we don't want to draw attention. Okay, we have 3 more dice. Oh, look, a ship arrived. The Helion salvagers. They're here for 3 rounds. We should maybe take advantage of that, right? We could buy some scrap. What did I say before? What is our actual ability that helps us? Like doing engineering tasks gives us more scrap. I think that's the perk we have. But this is just buying scrap for cryo, which is not really something I need right now. Legal right to sentience. That is a line. What a line. And yeah, it feels like there'd be a lot of perspective to add. Thinking about the narrative of a sleeper through the lens of being an immigrant. Yeah. Absolutely. I think this definitely serves, or is probably intended as a metaphor for that as well. Like as we said earlier, I don't know when that was, but someone in chat said, like, everyone's very touchy with you on this station. And my response to that was, yeah, because they see you as less than human. So they don't apply the same boundaries to you as they do with others. So everyone's like patting you and like holding you on your shoulder and stuff like that. So I think that's on purpose because the writing kind of highlighted that quite often. Like they touch you, they rub your back and stuff like that without asking, right? Like they don't know you, they're strangers to you, they still do that. So that's either just maybe how people are on the station, but I think it's like intentionally written that way. And all this illegality stuff really rings, like that comparison really rings true when you say it like that, yeah. The criticism on capitalism and society is strong in this game. Yeah, that's why we lava it. And I think for me, I don't always have the right words to analyze things often. But especially back then when I played it, I didn't really catch a lot of the things. So I'm really happy to have all you around at the moment in chat to point these things out to me. Because yeah, I miss quite a few things sometimes. I feel like a lot of my read came thinking about discrimination to black folks in the US and treatment since slavery on forward, just based on my personal experience. So I'm glad to get to hear your perspective and experiences too. Yeah. I think we share some experiences, but I definitely have different experiences. These days, I don't know, like, I don't want to get too much into current events at the moment because they are exhausting. But there's definitely like a lot of talk about legality and illegality at the moment also here. And for me, that is just currently a very scary topic. Because to just like summarize it in one sentence, people are actively talking here in politics in Germany to, I don't know how it's called in the US, like denaturalize. I think that's a term I heard, like to withdraw the citizenship of folks that were born and raised in the country already, but that have just an immigrant background. So they're talking about that in Germany. I don't want to get into too much detail about it, but just to give you a catch up there in case you don't know. When I hear terms like that, it immediately like reminds me of that. We need all the fascists to shut up for like forever. That would be great. That would be awesome, but I don't know how. Sending a lot of care your way, friend. Lots of similar fears here. Thank you, Josh. Sending also lots of energy and love your way as well, and to your community. Yeah, I mean, we follow. We see what's going on. We talk about it a lot here. That's why I think spaces where people can actually connect globally can help us understand that all of our struggles are connected, which is something that I think never really understood up until like a year or two ago. But these days I feel this even more stronger in my bones and every facet. Like all the struggles are so connected. And when you see what's going on at the moment currently worldwide, then you see how our struggles are oppressed by the same kind of people everywhere, except like it doesn't matter in which country, it's the same kind of people that are trying to oppress us. Seeing that it's a global thing is scary, but it's also giving me hope that we can connect about it and maybe something comes of it, like bridging communities and understanding the struggles are connected, you know? It's absolutely awful what they're talking about right now. Yes. It's ingrained in the systems that we're not supposed to understand. How capitalism, fascism, patriarchy and all that bullshit is intertwined and helps one another to exist. Absolutely. We're not supposed to understand because if more people would understand, then that would be a problem for them, right? That would be a problem because then a revolution could happen and that would like threaten the people in power, the fascists. Let's call them what they are, the fascists in power. And yes, one of the few answers we have is community building, empowerment and hope. Yeah, not gonna lie, it's hard. Like I had a few days this week where I was just sitting here and I was like, I don't know what to do. But evenings when I'm streaming are actually helping me out of that sometimes, like helping me get out of that like dark place. White supremacy is holding it all together. Yeah. And I find it so sad that only like I learned about these things so late in my life. I don't hold myself accountable for it like 400%. I think it's just also the system and the schooling that we have here that doesn't really teach you about these things. But also I feel like I should have known these things earlier. And they love to mark the marginalized and poorest as a target for society as if they were the problem. And they do that everywhere. It's the same pattern, right? It's nothing. I don't see a difference. It works the same way. Yeah. Let's jump back. Let me try to get the last of my voice out here and finish the day. All right. Right. So the ship came in. We can get scrap for cryo, which I don't want to do. We have a scrap allowance, so we can only do it 3 times. Right. We can unload containers for a lot of money, but it's also dangerous. I don't have a good die to use here. So let's not do that. Let's instead work our asses off to get more money because we want to do things. Oh, we can meet Feng. Let's do that. Sleeper. Feng catches your attention as you approach the Havenage building, leaning against the bay door to the side of the entrance. You approach. Easier to come in this way. Security, all that. He gives you a look. You know. He slams a button and the bay creaks open, blinking lights in the dark behind it. You follow Feng inside. Truth be told, I don't spend much time upstairs. This is where I work. The door hisses as it closes behind you. The bay is filled with pieces of hardware all rigged up to generators and diagnostic slates, and things you don't recognize that glow with blue screen light. There's a chorus of hums that blends into a single wave of static filling the dark corners of the room. Feng leans on a server stack and gestures around. You like it? What is all this? He taps a nearby server stack, which bleeps in response. This is my treasure trove, all dredged up from the sea of systems we call the Eye. You wouldn't believe what this place runs on. He steps over to a towering block, speckled with vents. Some of these systems are from the original station, A1, the one Solheim built. We've had to invent new components, repair things we never built, reverse engineer entire subsystems into existence. Residents here look up at the Eye and think they are seeing a concrete reality. But this place is a system, in constant flux, decaying and growing, collapsing into new configurations. He walks down between the hardware stacks and you follow. We are keeping this place alive, but also remaking it into something new, dragging it away from those corporate origins. He stops. At least, that's what I'm trying to do. He turns back to face you among the flickering machines, humming all around you. I know you can see this too, Sleeper. All these systems and sections. You can, can't you? I can see it. Makes sense, right? You're between here and there, between the people and their systems. You light this place up like a beacon. That's what I need. You glance at the lights around you, and as you do, they seem to flicker, to realign, to follow your gaze. Feng notices it too. I'm guessing being a beacon isn't always ideal when you are on the run, though. They are tracking me. He pats you on the shoulder. Maybe I can help with that. There's a lot of old growth in this place, subsystems I can't see, access protocols lost to time and decay. Secrets, a shitload of secrets. With your help, I can unlock this place. Break off those last ghost limbs of corporate control. He lowers his voice below the hum. Even in the Havenage, there's old growth. Those whose roots trace back into those bad old days. You help me dredge up the past, and I'll see what I can do about that tracker of yours. He winks. What do you say, Sleeper? So Feng is about to help us, or he's at least offering to help, with the hunter that is hunting us. So, should we accept? We should, right? I'm in. Feng pumps his fist and claps you on the shoulder. He meets your eye. You won't regret it, Sleeper. Feng passes you a ragged-looking metal tab. A gift. He smiles. It's a Solheim cipher. I dug it up from the depths of the station. Slot that into the old network gate, and you'll be able to pull all kinds of secrets from the notes inside. He walks you back to the front of the bay. Start by bringing me whatever you can turn up. Use that emulated mind of yours and see what's out there. Let's get a picture of how things are. Those above, he nods at the ceiling, have granted me an acquisition budget. I can pay you for whatever useful data you bring in. I know you need it. He slams the door button again. Keep it quiet and keep it clean, Sleeper, and I'll see you soon. You step, blinking, back out into the passage, those flickering lights still in the back of your mind. Okay, so we have a new way to survive. No, not to survive, but to get rid of our hunter. The tracker, basically. Right. So Feng now accepts data. Feng will pay you well for any Solheim data you dredge up from the Eye's old systems. What he does with it is anyone's guess. And we have to do that 3 times. Then Feng wants to get a look at what data is hiding deep in the subsystem of the Eye. Okay.